Hey everybody, Ryan Gromfin here with The Restaurant Boss. You know me as an author, a speaker, chef, restaurateur, the founder of therestaurantboss.com, clickbacon.com, and scalemyrestaurant.com. I'm so honored to have an amazing guest here, Brandon Knoepfle. We're going to talk to Brandon here in a second. So happy to have him here. Brandon, you want to quickly say hello?
Hello, thank you.
And you're our first guest on this new series that we're going to try here. Just one question. We're going to try to keep these short, simple, right to the point, but we want to do more live. We want to be out there. We want to be having more fun. We want to get more of you involved in this. So we're so excited to have you here, Brandon. Thank you again. So what do you say? Let's just jump right into this. I want to quickly introduce you if possible. Brandon's the owner, as you can see, of Acorn Grill in Sullivan, Indiana. And yeah, there it is. And he told me earlier that he's wrapping up his best year ever. Now, I know he'll be humble in saying this, right? We know that some of you are out there having your worst years ever. Some of you are struggling, but some of us are also having our best years ever. And I think it's important that we share that, not in any way to brag or to impress, but to impress upon that the economy moves on, business moves on. And some of the fundamentals that I know we're going to get to here today might be contributing to that. I want to hear more. We talked for a couple minutes yesterday on the phone, but I didn't want to hear too much because I wanted to hear it all today. But he mentioned systems. He mentioned his best year in sales, his best year with systems, his best year with his family. So he'll talk more about that. But something you may not know about Brandon, we were just talking about, he loves to work with a CNC machine. I don't know about you guys. If you're not watching The Restaurant Boss on YouTube, you should probably, if you're anything like me, be watching some of these like restoration videos or wood turning videos or CNC videos. I don't know about you guys, but I could just watch those videos all day long. And also, you started in the restaurant business at 18-year-old as an essay, not a server assistant, but a salad assistant. So jump right in. Tell us a little bit more about being a salad assistant and how you got to where you are now as the owner of Acorn Grill.
Yeah, so thank you, Ryan. So it's real hard to go back to that time in my mind and like what those feelings were. But I remember being really excited. Like that was like the best thing that ever happened to me, was just standing beside that salad bar with my nice little button-up shirt and all that, and cleaning up after guests. I had no idea what garbanzo. I'm like, I thought they made that word up for real.
Did they call them chickpeas?
No, they didn't. They called them garbanzo beans.
Garbanzo beans. There you go.
Yeah. And that was just kind of becoming a thing at the time, like hummus and all that, and which is probably why, like in our restaurant, like if I can't pronounce it, it's not going on the menu, So that's probably where that came from, was those things.
There you go. So how'd you get to here? How'd you get from there to owning your restaurant?
A lot of just saying yes. As a lot of us know in the restaurant industry, if you just show up, you're probably going to get promoted. It doesn't matter what your background is, how many cool tattoos you have or don't have, where your piercings are. If you just show up, you're going to get promoted. And I think that's where it was for me, as I just showed up. I was there early. I was always, willing to stay a few hours extra, or a few minutes extra to help out the boss or help another team member. And it eventually migrated into, salad bar assistant, server assistant, like even like the janitor for a while in the morning, like cleaning stuff up, the bathrooms and everything, dish tank to line cook to server to bartender to host, and then eventually into, being a key hourly and then into a food and beverage manager. Stepped away from the restaurant industry for a few years because I was sick and tired of dealing with people and all. You hear this a lot. I just got burnt, man. And so I took a cool job operating heavy equipment, and that work lagged down. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to own a restaurant. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I know how to run a restaurant, but not build one. So I just took that huge leap of faith with no bank loan, just my own pocket money, and it wasn't much at that, and just ran with it, and it worked out fantastic, or it is working out fantastic.
So you funded this project yourself with some pocket change?
yeah, a little bit more than pocket change, but it's about 30.
But I mean, there wasn't an investor, there wasn't bank loans, whatever you could scrounge up together, credit card, savings.
No, nothing like that. I had some credit card bills out there. I actually let them just kind of, they were personal credit cards. I just let them kind of lag, because that wasn't important. I literally almost lost the house when I was building this because I put everything that was coming into this. And, within 6 months later, the house was paid off, so.
Wow. And so were there some scary moments for you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had a 1-year-old at home and a newborn, my only child, Addie, and my wife, and she's like, man, we got to get some money coming in somehow. And I'm like, just be patient. Nothing's going to happen. They're not going to take the house yet. We still kept a little bit of milk in the fridge. That was about it. I think I lost like 15, 20 pounds because we weren't eating.
Literally the top ramen diet, right?
Yeah.
And then for the first months, at least you could feed yourself through the restaurant, I bet.
Bar S bologna.
There you go. Hey, bologna's not so bad. Some fried bologna sandwiches. We've done some smoked bologna. It's not so bad, but.
Even now today though, like I'm still incredibly frugal. Like I know this is kind of like raw, but why not be raw? That's what really attracted me to you, Ryan, because you are very real with the videos. But like don't get high on your own supply. So like I hardly ever eat out of the restaurant, and when I do, it's like soup or like these micro these micro meals, like or somebody's like mess up is my dinner.
So you're keeping it tight. Hey, you're bootstrapping, right?
Right. Yeah.
Cool. And I know we spoke, it's probably been about 18 months, I think. We actually really only had the one conversation. I know you've been through the Scale program, and hopefully we'll talk about that in a second. But we had one conversation. We made some changes. We talked a lot about systems, processes, procedures. We adjusted your menu. And then I don't want to take credit for it, but I'm saying that there has been some massive growth in that time period since we spoke last, right?
Absolutely. And there's different levels of growth, I mean, so, sales with this, sales with that, that's important. Yes. But this year, why it's been so fantastic is I've been able to spend more time with my family, like 35-40% more time with my family. Everything's running a lot more efficiently. And that all stems literally from that one it started from that one conversation that we had. And then what the tools and the what you told me to do, and I just listened and applied.
Awesome. So let's get into it here. Let's keep this to the point. So we're going to ask you just one question. It's going to be hard to do, and then I know you got a question for me, only to be fair. But there's 30 questions I want to ask you, but I know that you have become the systems, process, procedure guy. I know on that call, you never questioned it. You trusted it. We talked a lot about it and in conversations and comments since. So let's get into it. What's that one system, process, procedure? What's that thing, that system that has made the biggest difference for you? And tell us all about that.
Sure. So I'm going to digress a little bit. I wanted to break this down into 4 categories.
Perfect. One question, answer it however you want.
But there is one major thing, man, and I'll save that for the last. So operations, finance, marketing, and tech. I think those are the 4 key areas of most businesses today, especially restaurants. Tech still kind of being on the edge. You can run without tech, but operations, checklist, super easy. That's the easiest thing is checklist. Get those checklists out there, make them fluid, and stay on top of them. Make sure you have a checklist checking the checklist checker, and you're checking the checklist checker. That's your whole system. Which is hard to do those, to implement those disciplines in ourselves and our business. Finances, super simple. Budgets, and then something I've recently implemented was profit first. I'm loving profit first. It was super easy to implement. It took a little while, but with following with the budgets and now doing the profit first, I'm seeing some really major results from that. Let's see, marketing. The best thing, in my opinion, that a person can do if they're on social or something, if they have a Facebook page, Insta page, is reply to every single comment. If you can't reply to them, develop a system to do that. That is so important for small business. That is so important for the brick and mortars out there that are trying to build, I think you just posted in the Scale user group, a loyal fan base. That's how you build trust and a loyal fan base, in my opinion, is to reply to every single comment with the equal, or I even do a little bit more, words. If they put 5 words, I try to go 6 or 7. And I try to be thoughtful if I'm replying. I'm working on a system that, is kind of affordable, I think, to help me leverage that and delegate that to other team members. But even just hand your phone over to a really sweet host or something like that, somebody's really kind. Hey, can you reply to these 5 people you're standing, please. I used to do that all the time with things, just to keep content fresh. Fourth, tech. Toast is our point of sale system. The online ordering with Toast, second favorite, I could live without Toast if I had to. The one thing I could not live without, because my handwriting sucks, is my label printer. I have to have my label printers. I know masking tape and markers, but I can never find a marker. It infuriates me. There's all kinds of different ways that people do things. So my label printer would be, if I had to get rid of all the tech and everything, I would keep that label printer. But the best thing that I've done in the restaurant is, and I'm not doing this because we're on the call or the live feed, is Click Bacon. It's simple, it's affordable, it has your budgets, it has your checklist. Like, so much of this, what I talked about, is around Click Bacon. It's so amazing.
Well, that's awesome here, buddy. This is a new software tool. It has all these fun things where I could add all these banners to the screen. I don't know if you've seen that, so I'm trying to write all these things down that you said and add them here to make it easier for people. But it's awesome. Thank you. And Click Bacon, it's funny because we spoke on the phone yesterday in kind of preparation of this, and we got into this whole thing. I was getting heated because I'm agreeing with you. We built bacon to be simple. And one of the hardest conversations I have with people is they want it to be more complex. They want it to do inventory. They want it to do all of this complex stuff. But I built bacon for you, literally for you, for the everyday independent owner operator. And if that's you out there, this was not designed to be a sales pitch. I appreciate you mentioning it. But do you mind talking for 30 seconds for someone out there who's maybe used bacon or is like in that world of, I tried it, but it didn't do this and it didn't do that? Maybe just repeat a little bit of what we said yesterday. And then, of course, you got to ask me your question.
Sure. Yeah. So when I'm very analytical, and I think a lot of us restaurant owners are, we want to get the results. We want to, so I'm over analyzing Click Bacon. I'm trying to put everything into there and still trying to build up daily disciplines. All right, I got to spend the time in here. All right, that's another hour, all this stuff. Keep it simple. Once I stopped over analyzing and I made it simple, I don't have to do the inventory if I don't want to. As long as I stay on top of it, I still do my inventory every once in a while just to see what's going on. But I don't have to do that anymore. Just input my numbers that come in, sales data, purchase reports, and my labor. I exported it, imported into Click Bacon. I think 3 to 5 minutes is what it takes for me to build that data out every day. But I'm finding myself spending like 30 minutes just for fun in Bacon, pulling reports and everything else. I spend more time in Click Bacon than any other software tools that I use, just because I love the reporting feature. But keep it simple. Stop over analyzing. Stop, making it so complicated and hard. Just put the numbers in there, what's coming in now, and let everything else. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Cost of goods, cost of labor, all that stuff's important. Put those numbers in there. The rest of it, find somebody else to do that stuff.
Well, as you were about to say shit, I don't care. I'm about to write stupid, and I stopped myself because I'm saying KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And I'm about to put that in. I'm like, well, maybe he's going to be offended thinking I'm saying stupid to him, but I know you won't be. I'm just going to put it up there as a banner. KISS it, right? If you've never heard that expression before, KISS it. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what we built it for. So thank you. So I'm ready, man. What do you got for me?
White Claw or Twisted Tea? No, I'm just kidding. No.
Well, can I answer that?
You can.
There's no question it's Twisted Tea. Now, I know that neither one of those add any hair to my chest or make me more of a man, but I'll be the first to admit.
Twisted Tea.
I think White Claws are disgusting. I think they are Karens. That's just me personally. There's people I play golf with who will go through 8 White Claws in a round. You can tell by me, I am not the no sugar, low carb guy. So if I'm drinking, pack it with sugar, make it taste good. I think White Claws are terrible.
I don't drink. I haven't drank for years, so I'll never know. So I had to ask somebody that maybe.
Well, I have about 1 drink a week, maybe 2 at the most, but that's about it. I don't drink a lot either. Yeah. You can see I'm addicted to food. I tell people all the time, if I had the same addiction to food or to alcohol that I have to food, there'd be twice as much of me. So,
and a lot less work, I'm sure.
Probably a lot more sleeping.
All right, real question.
Yep.
And I know this is something you're incredibly passionate about, but so like you mentioned in the beginning, man, a lot of restaurants are struggling, and it's so painful right now in so many industries, especially the tourist side of things or tourist areas. They're getting nailed.
In California.
Yeah. Why have you not thrown in the towel, especially with all those operators struggling and hurting right now? Why are you still going and so passionate about this?
Me personally?
You personally, man, with what you do.
I feel like I have to pay you for asking me that question. You've teed it up so easily. Thank you. So that was never an option. March, we got a little nervous. There was a couple of weeks there where we as a team started pivoting and reacting. And while I was staying strong and committed, which I still believe that everything I did was right, being strong and committed. But while we were putting on this strong facade, we were definitely getting nervous on the back end of what's going to happen here. I joke, everything I do is intentional. And I know you've become a Tony Robbins guy. I've been a Tony Robbins guy. For all the people that I said to Tony Robbins, if I got a nickel for everyone, I'd be wealthy as could be right now, because I love him with a passion. But ever since I started with Tony Robbins back in probably 03, 04, my biggest takeaway was intention. So everything I do is with intention. There's no accidents. There's no, I didn't know that was going to happen. And so when I built my consulting business, it was intentional. I was working with a Tony Robbins coach, and we purposefully put this business together. We talked about all different kinds of consulting and coaching. So when we focused on restaurants, we asked ourselves the question of, well, are you going to focus on one type of restaurant or one niche in restaurants, marketing, whatever it was? And we said, I'm more of an operations guy, but I want to focus on all restaurants. And we assessed the risk of that and everything else. But the one thing we never assessed was what happens if the entire restaurant industry disappears? So while we thought about so much in this consulting business, and while we thought about, we have 3 main streams of income here, and we can talk about that another day, but we thought about everything. We never thought about what happens if the entire restaurant industry disappears, because it was never even fathomable. And then here we are in March. So the reality is the question of do we pivot, do we change, never even came up. It was more of how do we serve more? And we started with some Facebook Lives, and we started giving away some time for free and bacon and some things like that. And we pushed off some other stuff because we didn't think it was time, but it was, how can we serve more? And I think, while I look back and say, sure, I wish I had done some things a little different. I wish we served even more. I wish we did some different stuff. We didn't know. We thought this was going to be a couple of weeks, then a couple of months. And now here we are a year later. I think at some point we kind of predicted this, but the thought process in our company was never anything other than how do we serve more? And we've been very fortunate too, like you, and our business is fairly flat, if not maybe up a little bit. We're still looking at some numbers for last year. But I think that's because we're so committed to serving. And so, that's what I teach. That's what I preach is I'm a top line guy. I'm a give, grow, take care of your team, take care of your guests, take care of your vendors. And if you do all of that, the bottom line will come. You'll work out all that other stuff later. Whereas I find so many operators are totally bottom line focused. They're totally about squeezing profits. They're totally about cutting staff. They're totally about not giving. And I think that's why they struggle on the top line. So I don't know if that answered your question. I think it did. I kind of went in circles.
Absolutely. Yeah, I kind of already knew the answer with you because, I follow so much of your content, and you've answered this so many times.
Well, thank you.
And I think I wrote in an email, man, and this is what pivoted with me. So I want to share this, and I think I did at one point. In March, you released an email, March 17th, I think it was, and it basically said, to anybody that was subscribed to the Restaurant Boss, it basically said, this is where you're going to be defined, what kind of leader you are, keep grinding, keep getting it. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, man. And it was Monday night whenever they shut down Indiana restaurant dining. And then I got that Monday night, and then Tuesday I came back in and I was like, let's get it. If you guys are on board, I'm on board. So
dude,
that one email changed everything, man. Yeah, for real.
Blow it up, man. Cause sorry, I get a little like,
it's okay.
To
cheer you up. Sorry, I don't mean to cheer you up. I don't mean to interrupt. This is your thing. I don't mean to steamroll.
No,
because I'm incredibly passionate about what that email and what that did. But I was literally thinking at that moment, like, I think I might burn this place down or just come in and destroy it. Because it was like, what the heck? What's tomorrow bring?
And again, I get a little emotional because when I hear things like that, like, this is so real to what I do. I have two families in this world. I have my restaurant boss family and I have my family. And like, there's only a couple of us who really restaurant consult for a living. There's a lot of fly-by-night guys that, were chefs and they're between jobs and they're this. Like, this is what I do. And when I hear things like that, it's real to me and it's serious to me. And I know some people might say you send out too many emails or you do too much of this or why don't you do that or whatever it is. And so be it. But when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so some people will have read that email, and forgive my language, I don't care if you don't, but some people will have read that email and said, fuck you, Ryan. I probably got some replies back to that email. I remember it of, who the fuck do you think you are? Or something along that line of, we're closed and here you are talking about it. But I'm here to serve those that are here to listen. And I'm just whenever I hear that people listen, they've taken action and they've seen results because of it, it's everything to me. So thank you for sharing that, man. That's what keeps us going here. So thank you. Really appreciate that.
I appreciate the email, man. You probably saved my business and increased everything else on top of it, man. I would have sold groceries out of this place and delivered it just to survive from that one email. Whatever it took, I was willing to do whatever it took. And that's what we did, and we're still doing it,
And more wealth is created in chaotic times, in times of uncertainty, than in times of certainty.
Right.
It is the difficult times that define us as a person. Yeah. Now, you said you don't drink. I don't know if if they're getting too personal, that's fine. I don't know if there's a reason or if you just don't. But, sometimes that it's in dark times that people turn to drugs and people turn to alcohol and people turn to bad things. And those become defining moments in our life. It's easy to be good when things are good. It's easy to be happy when times are good. I want to look for the guy that's got a smile on his face while he's bagging groceries. I want to hire that guy and I want to bring him into my business. Some of the best employees we ever had were people that I found a guy that was working at a gas station. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I was out with some friends. We were coming home. I was pumping some gas and I needed like a bottle of water or something. And he was awesome. And I'm like, dude, you need to meet me at this restaurant tomorrow at this time. And over like the next 3 or 4 years, he went from being a busser to almost, I think when I left, I think he was like an assistant manager at this fine dining restaurant, because that guy was smiling and happy and genuine and wanted to help when he was working the graveyard shift at a gas station. So I get nuts about this stuff. I could go on for hours, but we'll, thank you, man. Thank you. Congratulations on your success. For everybody out there watching, I think there's a lot to learn here today. I think there's a lot to read between the lines. I know Brandon has a million other things that he could add and say here, but we're going to try to keep this short here. So go ahead, type in some questions. Brandon will probably be following along. If tomorrow or a week from now, if he gets a comment, I think he'll be happy to help out. And if not, I'll forward a question on to him. But as always, we're here to help at therestaurantboss.com. You can reach us at support@therestaurantboss.com if you need anything at all. Of course, any of the social media channels we follow. We're not always the best, but we will get back to you. Thank you all and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye-bye. See you, buddy.
Yeah.